Welcome back to Friday Fails. But why? Episode number 6 coming at you.
Why? Subscriber edition. This is new. You guys didn't see this one coming, did you? Other than we asked you for your videos.
My name's Jason.
I'm Tyler.
We asked for some emails for some crashes. You gave us some emails.
They're actually right here, and I haven't seen them.
We're a little scared because now if we actually make fun of somebody, we know you're probably watching. So
that's okay. That's why you said
we'll try to take it easy. Editor's note: really hard to tell in these GoPro videos sometimes.
Yeah, you got to get your buddies to film you crashing.
Yeah, get your. If you do send in some videos, which we love, send it to the email is in the link below. Here we go.
Blake Balmer.
Blake Balmer. He wrote us this. Crashed at a local fair race, and he's still trying to figure out what the heck he did. The neck brace was out of position, so before the jump he adjusted it. He didn't hit the main line. It all happened very fast.
We're gonna try to check it out. Oh man, that was something else. There's a couple of things that could have happened there.
Yeah.
You could have stalled your bike in the air, but it didn't sound like you stalled your bike in the air. What I think you did was maybe you went to brake tap and didn't get your foot far enough back, and when you landed, the compression of the landing pushed your toe under the brake, stopped the bike over the front, because it didn't sound like your bike was turned off. So you had to have stopped some way. Another option could have been, it looks like the dirt could have been a little soft on the top of the landing. Frame could have caught some soft dirt, stopped you, flipped you over the front.
Third option, that other guy who's coming the opposite way on the track
distracted you.
He's an evil person.
He has a voodoo doll. One needle right in your butt cheeks.
Blake Balmer, that's what we got, man. Chastity, this is from Chastity's 10-year-old son. Got this email. 10-year-old son is a huge fan of the channel. So what's up, 10-year-old son? I don't know your name, but we love you.
We're glad that we get to see you crash.
Appreciate you watching. Here we go. This is on one of his enduro races.
Woo! You just got off in the icicles, man.
Coming out of the woods.
You hit your little
looking pretty decent, but.
Have you ever played Mario Kart? Someone threw a banana peel out there and you didn't even see it. Was the rear brake applied? It wasn't there, but right there it was.
Here's the rear brake.
So the end, which is probably a good thing that you slid out before you got back into the tree section, so that's nice. But it looks like maybe you weren't looking far enough ahead, you didn't see that puddle, so then when you got to it, you went out to the left, and anytime the ground's real slick, you want to turn the bike as least as possible, right? You want to lean it as least as possible. If the wheels are making direct contact with the ground, usually it'll stay straight. If they're leaned at all, especially with some momentum and a little throttle, all it takes is it to break loose just a little bit, and then it just takes itself and did kind of what it did there. So next time when you're coming out of the woods, don't be afraid to go right straight through the middle of that shallow little puddle, but just keep the bike straight up and down. Yep. Look to your next point of interest, which looks like the entrance of the next part of the woods. So I think it's just a little, nothing crazy happened there. You're hit a slick spot, which I'm sure a lot of people probably had trouble with there. Just gotta look ahead, drive through those obstacles. One
more note is if you do, just like think about it, when you're in a car and you slam on your brakes in a car, you lose control completely. Instead of just, it's kind of counterintuitive because you're making a mistake, something's happened, you want to slam on your brake, but actually if you don't, that's going to make you go a little wild. Same thing on a dirt bike. You slam your brake, you have no control of where you're steering. You can kind of go anywhere. So if you just go a little bit lighter on the brake, you may have been able to get out of that, but obviously it would have been a little bit more intense coming into that next little opening. You done got up and
I'm sure you understand what he means by slamming on the brake since you're 10 in a car.
10-year-olds.
They slam on brakes in cars often.
10-year-olds. So this one's from Chris Wilson. Kids love our content online. Amazing. He actually intends to bring them for some training soon, which is super awesome. But you just bought him 3 bikes and a bunch of gear. Totally get that. So pad up your wallet and then bring them back. Bring them to us. That'd be great.
We'll D-pad it for you.
Yeah, we'll D-pad it again. It's not our normal fail, but here's what we got going on.
Spokes is cool.
So the fail here, he didn't do the double. He wants to do the double. What would he be doing different? Is he jumping all right in order to get him to do the double?
Go back one more time, because I expected some crazy stuff to happen.
Nope.
Let's just go the most layman's term way of like, you went halfway, you've got to go twice as fast, right? So that's kind of how I always, especially when I was younger and I was afraid of jumps. a lot like a lot of other people in the beginning and for a long time. And kind of how I started making my way, and this is a double, so maybe a little harder, is I just jumped a little further every lap until it got to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm really close, I just need a little more throttle. My suggestion, it looks like that, you know, you haven't spent a whole bunch of time jumping, so, you know, you want to work your way up maybe on a tabletop first of equal length. But if you are insisting on jumping this jump, here's my suggestion, is that you come down the straightaway. So wherever the turn is before that, I haven't been to spokes yet, wherever the turn is before that, you need to carry a little more momentum, get a little more straightaway speed. Do not try to gain your speed at the base of the jump. So have the speed that you feel is the right amount of speed for that jump as you get there, and then just hold the throttle steady. What that's gonna do is keep the bike jumping level, okay? So when people try to decide to jump the jump last second, especially if they're not really experienced, that's when they throw their body out of position, and it creates a little more, I guess, panic situation, and or just a little more uncomfortable air time, and that, you know, that can lead to some crashing on the landing. So get your speed down the straightaway, hold a nice steady throttle with a neutral position on the bike through the face. I think you could jump that. You jumped fine here. You weren't like out of whack or anything.
What'd you say? Look at his body position here though, because he was wondering if he was jumping right too.
If you could unlock your hips, meaning like, so your body's basically like this in what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Maybe even more straight up and down. You kind of want, you know, imagine this is your butt. You want to unlock your hips, and you want your back to be flat, and you want your head to be driving towards the landing of the jump. And then your legs driving towards the foot pegs, so straight down through the foot pegs to push the suspension into the face of the jump, and then your head's leaning over the front to maintain a level jumping bike. So I think that honestly, you're not in a horrible position. You could jump the jump in that position and probably be okay if, you know, as long as you did what I said by coming into it with the right amount of speed. I think you'd be okay because you jumped the level here. It wasn't like you're getting kicked. You don't have to necessarily do the squat thing where you bring the bike. You can just kind of stay neutral up there.
And Chris, if you want one more little tip, notice you sit down right after the landing. Kind of strengthens your leg. Just get used to like squeezing the bike with your knees a lot more, and just literally ride everywhere around. Like,
Ride
just
a bunch
stand.
standing.
Just stand up. Stand up
So
as much as you possibly can.
That's another thing, that if you're not real fluent in standing and those muscles haven't been built around the positions, the proper standing positions, what can happen is the force of you hitting a face going fast or hitting a landing abruptly, your body's gonna collapse rather than being able to take that hit, okay? So if it collapses on the face, you know that's definitely gonna create a mess in the air. And then if it collapses on the landing, usually your bike will unload, you know, a wonky direction and also creates a mess. So just make sure that, like we've said a million times when we coach here, we're coaching our guys, make sure you know the steps, then make sure they're a habit before you take the next one. So in my opinion, you need to make proper standing form and your muscular body built around that before you decide that you need to jump a 50 or 60 foot double, right? That's just the smart way to do it to keep yourself on the bike.
Word up.
My opinion, word down.
That's a lot of nuggets right there.
Give you some nuggets.
Take the nuggets and run. So that was pretty safe. Fail, but this one's not so safe. Fail. This one is from Craig Robinson's 7-year-old son, who is getting some whole shot practice and gonna get probably a slight bit more entertainment out of this one.
Yeehaw! Oh my gosh, let go!
We'll actually pair that up. Same little Robinson.
Oh man, he really lets you rip. Both times, he's just like laying on his back.
He bailed. Unfortunately, the second video,
caught a victim.
Dude to the left.
Gosh, tired of the face. Hey, if you ain't winning, I ain't winning. None of us are winning. What I'm seeing with your starting pad, one, he's hitting the gate and it's popping his front end up. So you need to build your starting pad with a little bit of a ramp where his front tire is driving over the gate without an abrupt hit, okay? That's first things first. Second thing is we have a how to do a start video. You should have him watch that a lot because just his position with his legs and his whole position's kind of out of whack. So he's not moving forward with the bike when he takes off, so his head's coming up, weight's going back, but the bike's still going forward, so it's going out from under him. Yeah, I would suggest, you know, for time's sake, watch that video. If he's watching YouTube, say, hey man, watch this video first, and have him watch it 10 times, and then maybe if you can help hold him accountable at the practice track with his legs and then with his head, and and all that good stuff. But yeah, he just got to put some time in. But what will help is you getting that starting pad built up a little bit in the front of the gate so he doesn't pop the front end up off the gate.
And just something to pay attention to when you do watch that video is his legs within, before he's even past the gate, his legs are way behind his foot pegs, which is putting his weight way towards the back of the bike. Maybe he can get away with a little wheelie usually, but he can't get away with it if your weight's already moving towards the back of the bike. Okay, this one's from good old Dan on his CR250, another GoPro one. Let's see if we can do our best here.
That looks like Pennsylvania or something. Yowzers.
Yep.
It looks like he endoed. I mean, could you see the shadow?
Oh yeah, I definitely endoed into maybe even a rut, or at least
maybe soft dirt for sure. Upper body's too far forward, so we're gonna just check your shadow out here because we can read a lot from your shadow. So front end definitely dives, and then when you hit the ground, your upper body folds, okay, and then goes forward. And then when you put all that weight on your front, this is why we think it's so important to have front to back balance and really truly understand that technique, is because when you put all that weight forward on the front end, the suspension can't handle it all, and then it just starts to go one way or another, and then you're on soft dirt, and so the dirt's then grabbing your front end and doing what it wants with it. So back to the root of the problem, you got a little huck-a-buck. It's really hard for us to tell what position you're in, okay? You're jumping to flat, so it's sometimes nice, a lot of times nice to land back wheel first when you're jumping to flat.
Actually, like the guy next to you.
Like the guy next to you kind of pushes the back end down right before he lands. So yeah, I would just work on your jumping first. And this is what I like to do with my guys is take them to a small single jump, sort of like this, but maybe a little smaller, low speed. Jump, land on your back tire 10 times, jump, land on your front tire 10 times, jump, land both tires at the same time, 10 times.
Yeah.
And then practice that every time you go to the track before you go onto the track and try to go as fast as you can. That way you know when an obstacle comes up like this, that you can do the proper technique, you know how to do it, rather than just riding the bike and hoping that it goes okay, which is looks like maybe that's kind of what was happening here. It's hard to tell from these GoPro videos, but I think that's a lot of what we were doing.
Maybe too, that obviously guys in the main line, maybe that's the line you were hitting every time. You obviously wanted to pass him. Looks like it gets a little deep on the base of the jump there. So maybe it was a little bit of a kicker at the top as well, which, yeah, but if you're doing everything Tyler says on practicing your jumping, you'd be able to compensate. For the kickers, Dan!
Yeah, next time jump over his head if you're gonna crash. Give us a good show.
Just straight up over it. Straight up over it. All right, Flaming Radar.
Flaming Radar.
That was honestly the name. That was his name, Flaming Radar. I had no name, unless that is his name. And then I want to meet your parents.
Yeah, I do.
I got questions. All right, I think it's another GoPro.
Yep, here we go. Uh-oh. Man, these are hard to tell. It looks like it's looping out.
This is unfortunately not a lot we can see from this.
You landed off kilter, for sure.
Yeah.
Can we see the face? So the face, this whole scenario fades left, right? So it looks like the lines are kind of going left too, right? And it looks like there's two lines there. And can't tell from video, but likely there was some variance in the height of the dirt on those two lines. So what I'm thinking maybe is that the front tire rode up high on the outside of those two lines, and then the back tire stayed down low. And so what we got with that is the front end went high and out to the right, body stayed this way, okay, stayed in the middle, and then started pulling down to the left. And then when you land, you were just landing out of balance in the little front end high. Okay, so root of that would be making sure that you're looking ahead in time to hit the exact line that you want to, okay? If you're watching, what was the last one, Dan?
Yeah.
It's always nice to go through that jumping drill there and just make sure that you're able to control that bike front to back with your body position, not necessarily compensating with like hitting the back brake or panic grabbing, right? You just need to be able to control the bike off the face every single time. These things won't happen. So my opinion, and I think maybe you're probably there with me, is that the jump face was fading to the left, tire made a road up to the right, you got off balance in the air, you hit the ground is sandy it looks like, and just wash the front end out. And
agreed.
You didn't break your arm, but then you did break your arm. So
yeah, not really sure. Was it actually broken?
It didn't look broken, but I'm no doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, Flaming Radar, but I'm sure you're back at it.
Tell your parents burning dash cam that we said hey.
This one's from Jack Showley, or at least Showley, or at least emailed from Jack Showley. Not sure if it's Jack, but we're gonna call him Jack.
All right, Jackie.
Here we go, Jack.
Little boy. Paddle tire. Oh! That's you?
I don't know if that's him or not, but I don't.
That's the same jump that Axel Hodges and those guys.
I mean, that looks. He's got long hair.
It sure does look like. I think he totally meant to do that. I think he should hit the back brake and stayed on the bike. He would have made it. He would have made it over the lane.
He would have made it actually.
I think he got scared that he was gonna case it and jumped off. He's one of those jump offer people. Jack, this could be you though. I don't think it's you though. I think this is the guy when they were filming Doonies and that. I've seen this before, but if it is you, Jack, don't jump off, man. Don't jump off. You wanna know why you don't jump off? Because you're hitting the ground directly with your body when at least if you stay on the bike, you've got what, 8-9 inches of travel that can take that first part of the hit and then let your body blow through, right? It sometimes can save a broken bone. When you're just going straight from 20 feet in the air, straight to the dirt with your feet, it's likely they're gonna get pretty jacked up.
No good.
So, my opinion, actually I think the jump was exactly what he was intending to do. I think he got scared, thought he was gonna case it, jumped off. Don't do that, I wouldn't do that.
First half,
would you do that?
I would not.
I wouldn't.
Actually,
I've never bailed off my dirt bike in the air. I'll ride it straight to the ground upside down.
What's the example I'm looking for? Ragdoll, you're gonna die because you're a ragdoll. Oh my gosh, Seth, what the heck is his name? In the original Krusty.
Seth Enslow.
Seth Enslow in the original Krusty Demons in the Dirt. Do you know
where he jumped like 60 feet past the lane?
But he stayed on his bike, did he not?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he stayed on his bike.
I think it broke in half though.
Yeah, but he probably would have died if he didn't.
Oh,
and Dan Pastor, when he goes and he's like over jumped a 4th gear jump by like 80 feet. I'm sure, comment below if you've seen that movie. You know what I'm talking about.
That bad.
He thought he was in 4th gear, but he was in 5th. So he was wide open, he was literally in the wrong gear. And so he way over jumped it. Point is, if he didn't land on his bike, he very well likely would have died.
Crushed his bike.
He obviously spent a lot of time in the hospital, but the point is that little bit of 10 inches of suspension took that little bit of hit away, and then he bounces and whatever. But the point is, like, fortunately, fortunately, this Jack guy was, or whoever it was, but was in sand. But anyway, yeah. So watch those movies.
Watch those crazy people.
Josh C. This is one of the smallest videos I've ever received. So.
Oh, he's way on the other side of the world. Alright. Oh my god!
Alright.
But if you're gonna do a backflip, you gotta hang on and keep on leaning back. You can't jump off. It looks like Georgia. Look at those Georgia pines back there. So here's what I'm guessing. This is just my guess. You found the power band right at the top. Right, and that could be wrong. That could, because we can't see and we can't even hear it really, so it's hard for us to tell. All I'm saying is I'm gonna go back to the balance front to back. You've got to figure out how to be in motion with your bike and it not work against you. All that was is the bike is working against where your body was. So my suggestion is on something that helps with that is get on flat ground and do one-handed, work into one-handed, power forward, brake back drill, so you can understand where your body needs to be under heavy acceleration, which a lot of jumps.
Exact breakdown of that drill that he's talking about, power forward, power back, is in our how to master braking technique video.
Check watch that, practice that.
Landon's
landing on the ground.
Landon sent me a sideways video, so
we're gonna watch it sideways.
Here we go.
Uh-oh. Holy smokes, Landon. Oh my gosh.
He's moving.
Could have swore he was dead.
He's moving.
Wow, you went for it.
Oh, there we go.
Holy! Doesn't it just sound scary?
The old overjump.
Yeah, that was crazy. But hopefully you're okay. This is my quick opinion there. We can't see your body position. All we can see or hear is your throttle and the fact that you went a little high wheel. Looks like actually your knees broke loose and went forward in the air and then your upper body went up. So that probably has a lot to do with the back end dropping away from you. However, none of that matters if you haven't jumped enough on smaller jumps to be able to time jumps correctly. Because what happened there was you just over jumped it. The front end had time to rise in the air, right? She's having a lot of experience with that. So take it slower. Go to smaller jumps and hit them 10 out of 10 times perfectly to the downside. And then go back and forth between a smaller and a medium-sized one and go a 20-footer and then a 30-footer. And then ride those back and forth. hit the 20-footer one time, hit the 30-footer one time, back to the 20-footer, and then understand the timing, understand how to control your speed, and land down the landings perfectly. A lot of times you see inexperienced jumpers is they just, you know, they just send it.
Goosing her.
So that's my opinion. Spend a little more time understanding what timing means as far as getting to the downsides on multiple different sizes of jumps in a small amount of time. It's like Supercross all together, really.
Missed BR.
Missed
butt with
rash.
a Y. That's not like bad words, is it?
Is that bad?
Well, people get butt rash. Babies get butt rash.
My baby has butt rash right now.
All right, okay, butt rash is cool.
I put the cream right on there.
From Missed BR, here we go.
Oh my gosh, his body just went fast forward, like, and then he's laughing. Is he laughing?
I think he's laughing, and then he's like, he says,
like, but I can't get up, I can't walk.
He's like, I'm fine. I'm not fine. But hey, you know what? He's got a helmet on, so pretty stoked on that.
Look at that, oh my gosh.
Oh, let's go check it out again. So here's what happened.
Sitting down. No, maybe not. Oh my god, I could watch it 100 times. I don't even know how to break this one down.
So obviously, what we can't see, he hit something.
He hit some
over
balls.
here.
He's like, boom, G'd out.
I mean, right there, I would frame that photo right there.
He's scrubbing.
That just looks pretty.
You're scrubbing. Oh.
Probably wouldn't frame this though.
But look how the bike just stops and he just shoots forward. This is like, it's like in a movie, right?
It's just rockets. You give me a future stunt.
We're not even gonna break that down, dude, because you know what? We don't know what you did wrong. You don't even know what you did wrong. No one's ever. It's like the MIST stands for mystery. Mystery, big red crash. Big red crash. I think you just got out of balance, man. It looks like you're a pretty decent rider. You're really charging that, and then you stood up and wheelied through the little G out. You just got out of balance. Just go slower and get it straight, and then speed up, right? I mean, he's
you're pretty odd. You're pretty screwed there. Could squeezing your legs, your knees a little bit tighter to the bike, maybe landed and rode it out.
You did knack
on the throttle, but you actually were on the throttle.
You never let off. Never let off.
That was a solid effort, my friend. Yeah. Solid effort.
We're sorry we didn't give you a better explanation.
No, yeah. Squeeze your knees tighter on the approach. Obviously, something happened where we can't see
Maybe not hit holes 30 miles an hour on a pit bike.
Got a little wonky, but I'm sure you went back and hit it again and figured it out.
If you got your bike fixed.
Yeah, fix your bike.
All right, Alexander.
This is gonna take about 3.8 seconds to diagnose.
Oh man. Did you hit that low?
Oh, this is my favorite part though.
What did he say?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Man, you're like psyched.
Dude's pumped. Analysis, don't hit the log.
Don't hit the log, man. Look up. You're probably looking down. And all
Look, I mean, it obviously like caught you, you know, just on the left there, but plenty of room on the right.
Lander cease.
Super important in trail riding. You gotta ride 20 feet ahead.
Every 10 miles an hour is an extra 10 feet of vision ahead. So think about that.
So you're cruising, definitely just look up, look ahead, and don't hit trees. But
if you do hit trees, be as excited as you were about it.
Yeah, because you were pretty pumped.
Let's go! Oh crap, my bike has a stick in the motor.
Thank you so much for anybody who sent in your video and helped us learn a thing or two from your mistake. Hit us up on Instagram below.
Patreon too.
Patreon too.
More videos over here.
Right there. Subscribe.
Over there too.
Peace. Oh.
Why do we do the bird noises?
I don't know.